with Mike Ralston this morning from Blencowe Resources. Mike, morning.
Good morning, Andrew, and thank you very much. It's nice to be back.
Look, big update from you this morning, Mike, but firstly, just give us a quick recap on Blencowe Resources and the Orom-Cross Graphite project.
Yeah, Blencowe acquired the Orom-Cross Graphite project located in Uganda, East Africa, approximately 5 years ago. In that time, we've completed several large-scale JORC resource drilling programs to get a 25 million tonne JORC resource. We've done a scoping study, we've done a PFS, and we're now, I guess, in the latter half of a feasibility study, a definitive study, which we hope to complete early 2025 as a means to decision to mine going forward. So we're making progress and we're getting a lot of good results.
Well, look, this significant update this morning, completion of a 600-tonne bulk sample test program. Tell us a bit more about its significance and what it means for the project.
Okay, so in graphite, qualification is required in order to move through to offtake agreements. You don't have the metals markets like you do for other base metals, or gold is easier to sell. But in graphite, you need one-on-one end users, and they end up requiring qualification in order to, as I say, take those sale agreements forward. So what does qualification mean? It entails not only all the lab met test work to prove product quality that we've done, but thereafter, it also requires commercial scale testing as well to prove that that same quality is maintained in bulk processing, right the way through processing concentrate and then upgrading to a battery-ready 99.95% SPG. This has taken us about 15 months to complete. We did a 100-tonne program last year, now a 600-tonne this year, but it normally takes 2 to 3 years, so I think we've done very well. And we're right at the back end of this process now, which is good.
And Mike, tell us a bit more. You mentioned in the RNS this morning this micronization testing. Why is that important and why is that such a milestone for you?
Yeah, we don't want that one to slip under the radar because it is very important. We're looking at every way possible in order to increase our overall weighted average selling price of the basket of goods that we're going to produce at Orom-Cross. And micronization is a very good way of doing that because it's cost effective. It involves just some further grinding, so it's really just some specialist mills that we have to put in. But by grinding it down to further micron sizes, that is the small flake concentrate, we are able to, having obviously proven that we can do that, we're able to sell niche products into specialist markets. And because of that, the selling price of those micronized products, the sales price is pretty high, anywhere between 2 to 10 times what you can get for the concentrate. So this test work has been successful, and we're now going to implement it within the DFS and obviously look to do it when we go into production, value adding all the time.
Well, I suppose, Mike, importantly, through this qualification testing, what relationships have been built and how might those help you moving forward?
Yeah, we built up some excellent relationships actually through this testing program. Initially with Gillen, which is the company that did our concentrate. And as you might recall, they've signed a 15,000 tonne per annum large flake concentrate MOU with us. And then more lately with a very, very large, probably one of the two biggest SPG producers in the world called Tide Graphite. And Tide have been working through taking that concentrate up to a 99.95% battery-ready SPG. They are both very experienced in the world of graphite. They have great knowledge, IP, and because of that, we're going to be working very closely with them going forward, particularly with Tide when we start developing this downstream processing facility in Uganda, because they have the expertise to deliver that successfully. So these relationships are good. They've taken time, obviously, like all relationships they do, but I think we're on the right path, and definitely with their help, we have much more ability to deliver success than we had on our own before.
Well, Mike, as you move towards full product qualification and I suppose those offtake discussions, what are the next key steps for you?
Well, several tons of this battery-ready SPG have been sent to Korea, to Japan, and even to other Chinese OEMs for their own in-house testing. That's the final stage of the qualification process. I guess everything up to now has been internal that we manage, but that is obviously external. But they've all got the product and they'll all be putting it through their own facilities. And once they've ascertained that our product works through their facilities, then we can move forward to offtake agreements. So we don't expect their testing to take too long. As I say, the samples are on their way. And hopefully within the next month or two, we'll be able to move forward to the final step, which is obviously the offtake agreements. And that's what everyone's been waiting for, including ourselves. But we are moving as quickly as possible. And obviously, it's important to us to get that nailed down within the DFS.
And what other news, Mike, can we expect to hear from you in the near term?
There's plenty of other news, Andrew, as the DFS gathers momentum. We'll be presenting our position on downstream processing to 99.95 purified graphite in Uganda and how we'll be delivering that. That's an important part of our strategy. We have another tranche of DFC grant funding now in the disbursement funnel, which can come through soon. And we have two exciting new strategic initiatives that we'll be presenting to the market shortly once the work to complete these and move them to a position where we can announce. And of course, offtake agreements once the OEM testing is completed, plus more DFS work as on the ground work completes. So we're making a lot of progress. And at the end of the day, I think we're starting to get towards the back end of the DFS. And obviously, these are all very important steps as we finalize that study and get to that decision to mine thereafter.
Great to speak, Mike. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you.